there are three questions for worship tonight. It's a quiz. The text says God knows everything, including even when a little bird falls to the ground. Matthew 10:29. It's in the clear word, it's the kids' Bible. By raising your hands, don't speak out loud. Question number one. How do birds keep dust and water out of their eyes when they're flying? Eden?
Because they fly above the sky.
No. If they fly above the sky, they wouldn't be able to breathe. They'd be in outer space then. Liliana?
They have third eyelid.
Do I?
Do they have third eyelid?
Okay. Anybody else got a different answer? Or same answer? What, Nathan? Here's the answer. Here's, you got a choice. Now I'm going to give you a choice. They blink with their long eyelashes. They have an extra clear eyelid, or they wear special goggles made just for them. How many think it's the special goggles? Raise your hand. How many think it's blinking their long, beautiful eyelashes like me? How many don't know? There's a few honest ones. Or an extra clear eyelid. How many think it might be that? Okay, here's the right answer. In addition to the regular eyelid, they have an extra clear eyelid that helps keeps the dust and water out of their eyes when they are flying. That would be kind of neat. We'll have something like that when we're playing, wouldn't it? Okay. True or false? Only by raising your hands. I'll ask you. Birds don't have ears. True or false? Who says true? Okay. Who says false? False. Birds' ears are hidden beneath their feathers at the sides of their heads. So you can't see them. You know, you look at an owl and you see them tufts sticking up. Do you think those are his ears? No, those are just feathers. Okay, here's the last question. The males or the boy birds of what bird build a nest for all their females in his family? Eden? Is it a rhea, R-H-E-A, an ostrich, or an emu?
Emu.
You think emu?
Mm-hmm.
How many think emu? Raise your hand. How many think ostrich? How many think the one that Jimmy can't pronounce very well? R-H-E-A, rhea?
I'm not sure.
During the breeding season, the male rhea collects a group of females. That's his family. And he makes one big nest for all the female birds to lay their eggs in. Then, here's the neat part. He sits on the eggs, sometimes up to 50 of them, until the birds hatch. Now that's one serious daddy. Can you imagine, Milo, you'll understand this one. Can you imagine a rooster sitting on 2 clutches or 3 clutches of eggs till they hatch? Most male birds don't want anything to do with the eggs. I thought that was pretty neat. He builds the nest and then he sits on the eggs. So what did the text say? Anybody remember what the text was? God knows some things or everything.
Everything.
He even knows it when a bird falls to the ground.
Yes. Yes.
So, if that bird falls to the ground, that's pretty important to him. How much more important than you think you are?
More. The same.
I think probably more. You know, there's sometimes I think he may even shed a tear when you fall down and skin a knee. Because I think it hurts him as much as it hurts you when he sees one of those little ones that get hurt. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
If a little bird is that important, I think we're a whole lot more important. But Jesus thinks and loves everything he created, even the silly little annoying mosquitoes. Anyway, let's bow our heads for prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for the nice day. Thank you for the cooler weather. Please be with us this evening. Help us to play. Help us to have lots of fun. Help us to learn more about you. We love you, Jesus. Amen.
Are you going to tell them about the birds we saw?
Last Sabbath morning we got up. I asked Annette, you want to go to Alumni or you want to go to Brown County?
That's a no-brainer.
Within 45 minutes we were heading for Brown County. And it was really neat. We got down there and we messed around the nature center some, and we saw on the schedule that they had a bird show at 2 o'clock. And they were bringing, guess what kind of birds? My favorite ones. Izzy? Starts with an R.
What have we been studying about?
Miliana?
Raptors.
Raptors. Now I know I'm going to get the first one wrong. What was the first one?
It's a Kestra.
Kestrel. Was a little kestrel.
This is the...
Now the story behind that kestrel is kind of sad because it's really kind of a miracle that the little kestrel is still alive. These kids thought they'd like to have a bird for a pet. But all raptors are protected by law. You know what that means? We can't mess with the nest, we can't hunt them, we can't irritate them, we can't throw rocks at them, we can't do anything with them. Because they're protected so they don't get on the endangered list. Well, this family wanted to have this, they got this little kestrel, and they took it home. It's just a little tiny baby in the nest. And they were feeding it this, that, and the other. And it wasn't doing very good. There's a place not far from Brown County that takes care of raptors or sick birds or injured birds. And they took the bird in there to them, and they says, our bird is sick. Can you do anything to help us? And they said, well, what have you been feeding it? Oh, we've been feeding it cookies and milk and oatmeal and cereal and this, that, and the other. What have you guys been taking apart on the table? Miliana? Owl pellets. What's in the owl pellets?
Bones.
What was hooked to the bones? Leland? What was hooked to the bones at one time? Miliana?
No.
Yeah, that's the finished product. Well, what was hooked to the bones?
Muscles.
Muscle and meat. Birds like that, they don't. The little baby birds, especially raptors, they don't need cereal. They don't need milk. They don't need cookies. What the guy was telling us, baby raptors like that, they need meat, muscle, tissue, the intestines, the guts, and the bones of the animals or mice and shrews that their mom and dad bird brings to them. They says, yeah, we'll try to help the bird if we can. Then the people says, when can we come pick it back up? And the people at the center says, you can't have your bird back because you stole the bird from the mother nest. And what did I say about raptors in the law? They were what? Preston, what? Raptors, what does the law say they are? It starts with a P.
Protected.
They're protected, correct. That means they keep them safe. And the people says, no, we're going to call the police and have him come arrest you because you won't give us our bird back. And then the guy that was in charge says, well, folks, you have this choice. You can let us keep the bird and do our best to make sure we can raise it so it'll be safe and grow up. Or we can turn your name into the police and it's 5 years in jail or a $100,000 fine. Which do you think the people did? How many think they went and called the police? How many think they let the Raptor Center have the little bird to raise it? Now, that bird was taken when it was young away from mom and dad. It was never taught how to hunt and live and defend for itself. So that bird will spend his entire life at the center being used as a teaching tool. I don't remember if it was a boy or girl, but it was really a little bird about that tall. The other one was my favorite hawk. Who remembers what my favorite hawk was? Milo?
Red tail.
Red-tailed hawk. They had one that's probably about this tall. And it will have to spend its life there because one of its wings got damaged in such a way that it's not able to fly like it wants to. Ned has some pictures of it. And it was really a pretty bird. And it was a little noisy once in a while, but that was okay. Then he had this great big box that was about this square and about this tall. Who can tell me, who wants to guess of what was in it? Izzy? It was a big bird. It was a beautiful bird.
What did I just show you a picture of?
A great horned owl.
No,
It's an owl, you're right.
Preston. It's an owl. You got it half right, Miliana.
Border owl.
No. It's one that you will never see in this country. It was born in captivity here, and it is called an eagle owl. The reason why they call it an eagle owl is because he is so big. This one weighed 8 pounds. How many of you ever picked up Mom's 5-pound bag of sugar at home or 5-pound bag of flour? Well, that bird weighed almost twice that. She stood about this tall,
Wow.
and the wings spread probably about like this. And it's really interesting. Who wants to guess what that owl's favorite food was? Is he? Huh? It's meat, but what kind? Preston? No, he likes a little bigger than a mouse. Oh,
A rat.
a little bigger than the rat. Bigger than a squirrel. Rachel? Rebecca? No.
Groundhog.
Favorite food is really cute. He likes Bugs Bunny. He likes rabbits. But there's something unique about the eagle owl over in Asia, different parts. They actually teach that eagle owl to hunt. Guess what he hunts for the people? He hunts for deer or he hunts for wolves. Now the talons, or the paws, or the hands of that eagle owl is about the size of my hand. And I've only got about, if I squeeze real hard, I might have 40 or 50 foot-pounds of pressure, me squeezing real hard in my hand. The pressure of that eagle owl squeezing his talons is 500 foot-pounds. That's how hard he can squeeze. His claws, or his nails, whatever you want to call them, his talons were about this long. He's a beautiful bird. But when they would use them to hunt for wolves and stuff that were creating trouble, now this is kind of cruel in a way, and I don't know if I agree with it, but this is something that happens. They would train that owl, when it would fly down for its prey, right before it got there, it would ball its talons up and just hit it in the back of the head. Not the front, but the back, and knock the animal down. Then the owl would take his talons and grab the throat. That's how, I know it's cruel, but that's how they hunt. And that's how some of the raptors do hunt. They don't knock them down, but that's what they use their talons for, is to capture their prey. But it's really hard for me to imagine an 8 or 10 pound bird taking down a 70-pound wolf. That would be like Milo taking me down and beating me up. It don't sound like a fair fight, but if Milo knew the tricks of the trade, it would be a fair fight. But the animals only behave that way because of sin. On the new earth, you'll probably take that eagle owl and play catch with him with the tomato. Can you imagine tossing that tomato up and that eagle owl catch it and not even break the skin? Catch it perfectly in his talons and not even break it? So
Some of
things
you
are going to be different on the new earth. But the eagle owl is really beautiful. His eyes were the prettiest. They were like orange with a black center. Okay, one more question. In the bird kingdom, who is bigger, The girl, when they're full grown, the girls or the boys? Who thinks the girls are the bigger birds? Who thinks the boys are the bigger birds? The girls are usually the bigger birds.
Some of you were asking why the guy had gloves on. Have you ever seen the claws on an eagle? And the owls were even bigger than an eagle's. They were humongous. And he actually had a place on his hand where one of them had stuck their claw clear through his hand one time. So that's why he wears the gloves, so he doesn't get pierced with their claws.
Now his glove he wears with the bigger
Talons.
birds were 2 layers of leather, whereas a normal glove is just 1 layer of leather. Anyway, that was the birds we got to see Sabbath. And we went outside afterwards, we got to take pictures. And I got so lucky because if Ned was the guy that's standing there holding the bird, he came over and I was standing right here. That bird was right there, less than 3 feet. I wanted to reach out and touch it and pet it, but I couldn't.
It was so hard not to touch
It was so hard not to pet that bird. He's so beautiful, we really wanted to. But if I'd have tried to pet that bird, he'd have probably done some body piercing on me.
You look how big he looks. And that guy was sticking his finger down into his feathers quite a ways before he ever got to the body. That owl, the eagle owl had so many feathers. It was so thick with feathers. It was just really cool. Anyway, if any of you get a chance to go to Brown County, they do that like every other Sabbath. The Brown Counties were there anyway for the month of October. After that, I think they quit because it starts getting cold and they can't take the birds out so much. But they do have a place. It's called Raptor. Oh, what was it called? Anyway, there's a place down there close to.
And they rehab a lot of the birds.
And you can actually go there and take tours of their facility.
Adventures. Present.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order on. Hand over heart pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the Cicero Adventurer flag and to the pledge of law for which it stands. Because Jesus loves me, I will always do my best. Be obedient, be pure, be true, be kind, be respectful, be attentive, be helpful, be cheerful, be thoughtful, be reverent.
Order on. You may be seated.
Good job. Alright, you guys wanna go play in the gym for a little bit?
Yeah.
Alright, walk quietly, stop it there at the door. So you're gonna go through and you're going to keep looking for bones and vertebrae, those little tiny pieces that look like they are just little chunks of bone. That's vertebrae from their backs. You're going to go through and you're going to try to find everything you can in that fur. Once you think you're done, you're going to ask an adult. You're going to ask an adult to come and look. If the adult thinks you have pretty much found everything, we're going to let you throw the fur away. And then we've got this cool chart. We've got this cool chart that you can look and find all these different bones. Like the skull or a jawbone, teeth. This is a shoulder blade on different animals. This is what a rodent would look like. This is a mole, this is a shrew, and this would be a bird. Okay, these are things that the owl might find. You know that great big eagle owl we were showing you, talking about? He did it while we were, when the guy went to put him back in his box, and there was an actual owl pellet in there.
A fresh one.
A fresh one. You guys think this is bad? That thing was like slimy. I was just like, ooh, if the kids only could see this here now.
These are dried and sterilized and
Yep.
These ones
Yeah. So they won't hurt you. But that one was, he said those kind have E. coli.
I'm sure.
I think it's E. coli. He said that they're really, he put it back in the cage. He kind of brought it out and showed it to us and threw it back in. Anyway, so you're gonna go through your bones. There's ribs and back legs and hips and front legs. But you can look at your bones and you can compare them to all of these. Then we're gonna give you a piece of cardboard, and you're gonna put all the hip bones together and all the ribs together and all the different parts together. Remember, like I showed you last week?
Oh, you're gonna do it that way? Oh, yeah.
Huh?
What? I thought you were saying that they need to do that.
I'm sorry. Well, they just want some of the bones off of that one. Anyway, so this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna put all your ribs together, like this one, and those look like claws. I think they are. Skulls, your hip bones. You're gonna put all your stuff, all your little vertebrae. That's what these are, is your vertebrae. Okay? You're gonna put them all together, and you can just do this, or if you want to, you can put them together, and then you can write beside them what they are, okay? Keep looking.
Okay, do you see any legs, hips, back leg, rib, vertebrae?
I think I'm done.
I think we have this kind of an animal, so we need to see if it'll fit any of the, it looks like that, like a back leg.
It's under yours.
And then this one looks like that one.
Yeah. I think this is that. Because it's lots of bones. I have
Let me see, I can't see through your hands.
too many. I think
Maybe.
Do his and see.
more rodents.
And it looks like he's pretty much
Oh,
done.
I think Rachel, Rebecca, I'm gonna go.
Well, mole and rodent in this case are two.
Yours is a rodent too?
I'm not exactly sure.
Mine is a I have 2 rodents. Where do I put this?
Keep finding more spots. I think that that's part of the vertebrae. Doesn't that look like that to you?
just broke.
Oh no.
Be careful with it. 2 skulls?
Here we go. Is that
3?
that right there?
Start eating the mice bones. Get a little help.
And you.
No, don't do that.
That's
Don't do it.
strange.
We are totally kidding. You're right. We are totally kidding. Well, there's one more, and then we're gonna be done with you.
You gotta take the
Look how
individual
it's
fluffs and unfluff the fluff.
Here's your
There's another one of
What? It's all the same color.
Yeah, but you can have more of them. Look at right here, Rebecca. See all these little ones?
I have 1 full skull.
If it's what? See all these little ones right there? Those are the vertebrae.
I found 2. I have the 3 whole birds. I don't have 2 whole skulls. Look, where do I put this? No. Where does this go?
Let me see what it looks like.
Can I see?
Probably one of those bones. The joint or the back leg.
I found a tooth that looks like
This.
that.
Woo!
This is what I
Next time, turn your head. You won't blow all your bones.
I found. Look next.
This is the other side of the jaw. It looks.
Where did the trash can go?
Uh-oh.
Right back here by me.
This is strange. You got 3 jaw bones. That's weird.
Like that, so it holds really still. Because when you got
Get all
really
your
close,
vertebrae
the
out
camera
of
has
here.
to take a really
look.
long picture. And if you move, it's blurry.
And 4th one, put it over there too.
We'll look at the ones that you have left after.
Yeah.
Kind of. Didn't do a great job, but we got it.
Okay. Okay, you wanna help? Is that okay, Lily?
Get all your vertebrae.
I can't read everything. I found another skull.
Oh, good.
4 skulls in a row. Why is there 4 skulls? Why did I find 4 skulls?
You had a hungry owl. Are they little tiny skulls or big skulls?
Tiny.
Yeah.
Ricky, when he was working down at Camp in the Nature Centerville and they had snakes and stuff, he actually raised his own mice for feed.
Wow. I know that.
I mean, when they charge you $1.50 a mile, he was raising them.
I know that Keegan was trying to get some of the
Oh, here's a
like one
curved
of the
one.
snakes that he was gonna bring home for
Curve what?
the rest of the
Curved
year.
bone.
He was gonna try to
It's for
get
the ribs.
Where's the ribs?
Frozen mice because
Right there.
that's what their snake at home
Oh.
uses, frozen mice.
frozen mice?
Yeah.
There's another curved
You
one.
know, one other
You
thing
can buy them at PetSmart.
they say about the hawks, the red-tailed hawks, and
What about you?
falcons and stuff that eat mice, they're really beneficial, especially if you're a chicken farmer. It's
Ooh,
not a
here's
big
another
deal if
jar.
you're red-tailed, you lose one chicken to a red-tailed hawk. Listen to the math. If you have one mommy and one daddy mouse in January,
Get all your little vertebrae.
they'll only do 30 cents worth of damage a month,
There's your ribs.
the mommy and the daddy will.
The
But
curved ones.
guess how many mice they will have at the end of the year?
One male and one female.
One mommy and one daddy mouse. They start out with just the two of them. At the end of the year, there'll be
good at finding little stuffs, aren't you?
218,000 mice.
There's little bones right there. You just have to
They
watch
are
out.
that prolific
tiny.
reproducing.
Yeah.
Where?
I think this owl ate lots of little baby. Maybe he found a nest of baby girls.
This looks like more.
I think I just found something in the park. What in the world? Why do I keep finding
That probably goes somewhere down with the vertebrae, I guess.
Average at least 2 mice a day.
We need to try to find these little bones that are
Got
part of
mom
the
and dad
arm.
mouse the first day, then you don't have a mouse problem. I know it sounds gross, but that's the math behind it.
Off by our place.
Oh, there's one.
I'd gladly sacrifice a hen once in a while if I was raising out on the farm. If they're eating that many mice and rats,
Yeah, I mean, if you had lots
There's another rib.
huh?
Right here.
You want a paper? You sure you got all? Yeah. Leland's ready for the paper.
Right there.
He says he does. He's got a sheet full of bones.
Okay.
I can't get too close.
He's got lots. I mean, he's.
Throw his fur away and I'll get us people.
Here's more.
I don't want them keeping the fur. 'Cause
Lucas has got just lots of little bitty bones here.
Okay, we talked about this. You gotta take it and look.
Another one. Look.
you got like a,
You put all the fur on.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna.
Rachel, pay attention here. Put all your ribs where they go.
Alright.
Hello, Zaylee.
finish up on them tonight. We'll have to finish them up next week.
I feel a bone in here. Keep pulling until you find it.
It will take long, but it's just be a matter of
It feels like a
Where do I
bone.
put this?
finishing them off.
Where do I put it?
Put it with those other.
I think it's a bone.
Oh, it's a long one.
I think you have more rib looking things.
Of course you did.
There, I
There's a tight sound in there. Oh, no. This wasn't the one, because this one's just fur. It was not just fur. I'm telling you, it was a bone. Yes, it was.
Oh,
No, I just crushed this.
I shouldn't have thrown it in. Wait away.
Just thinking, put it there.
Or that is easy right there. If they've got the bones on the papers, we need to write their names on the
More
papers.
bones.
That's not bone.
This one? Feel this. This is a bone.
That's not a bone.
I don't know. Probably something to do with its skull. Probably a piece from its skull that fell off.
I won't have that problem because I don't have a
See, I have a hard enough time keeping track of mine. They have cords on them, so.
Well, that's what they were talking about this morning. They've got these new ones out, and they're like $600.
Your
It's like
The owl
you
didn't
put those into your ear, and that's what they said. You lose them
Very
so
thick
easy.
pieces. This is not what happens in humans.
No,
Why did I
you don't
get
have, you may
all
not
of
have them.
Disgusting.
This is just things that
Why
you
did I
might
go
have.
for the
Doesn't mean
whole
that you
pellet
will.
and still there's a lot of bones?
If you're paying $500 or $600 for things and you lose them, oh my goodness.
Someone spent like
I'm finding all sorts of little bones in here.
What a waste of money.
I have a pair of Bluetooth headphones which I can actually hear when I'm probably did and stuff. But they have a long
I use-
battery. I think
I
I'm
have
gonna pay like
mostly
120 bucks
feathers.
for them for me because he spoils me.
I am mostly bones.
Here's a piece of something. What do you think that is?
Look how many bones I have.
You want to keep digging for a bit?
But wash my hands. What's this?
I can ask the you know, most people they have too much money if they think they're gonna do that. There's other. I could. You know how much I paid for my car? $2,500. So $500 more, you can have a car.
I don't know.
Right, exactly.
Looks like another skull to me.
What's this?
Okay, well, I want someone to check yours, Diana. I'm tired of looking through tiny bones.
Eventually.
Because they're tiny, there's too much work looking for. No wonder.
And I have lots of tiny bones here anyway.
Really good.
That's a jaw. So there's part of a bird jaw.
And you were the one who just said it's not working for these technically.
Who knows?
So,
I think that it's worth it. She does. People are crazy.
Give it.
Do you need a little piece of paper towel?